So today was our first ever virtual episode, and we made an exception because we had a very special guest on, none other than Mr. Grant Cardone. And let me tell you, I did not know what to expect on this interview. We kind of went into it with a blank slate, and I just wanted to ask him some questions that I personally have been wondering over the years, and he gave me so much more than I even thought. We talked about what it takes to go from zero to millionaire, what it takes to go from millionaire to billionaire. We talked about his thoughts on crypto, NFTs, all the money printing. We also go over how he's starting a brand new non-accredited investor fund that looks really promising. And we just talk about what his goal is overall and what, he's going to be doing with the rest of his life and why he continues to just go so hard, even though he's already done so much. So you want to make sure you watch it till the end. Now, let's jump into it. Are you looking to grow your real estate investing business? My company, Future Flipper, can help. We've taught hundreds of people all over the country how to flip, wholesale, and buy rental properties. And it doesn't matter where you're at in your investing journey. Whether you're trying to get your first deal or scale your company, Future Flipper can help. We have courses, coaching, and events for all levels of investors. So if you want to take the next step, go to futureflipper.com and book a free consultation to see how we can best help you. Once again, that's futureflipper.com. If you've ever wanted to invest with me on my real estate deals, it's now possible. At Pineda Capital, we're purchasing value-add real estate all across the country. This includes multifamily, commercial, and land development. The best part is, with my network, social media presence, and marketing strategies, we're able to get the very best deals that others don't have access to. You can join in with me on those deals if you're an accredited investor. If you want to learn more, head over to pinedacapital.com to see our current opportunities. Once again, that's pinedacapital.com. Welcome to the Ryan Pineda Show, where our mission is to invest.
I only expect to make money in things that I understand.
Innovate.
It's about believing in the future and thinking that the future will be better than the past.
And inspire. I am much more likely to hit my goal just due to putting it out there.
You're now rocking with the best.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Ryan Pineda Show. This is actually our first ever virtual episode because we have such a special guest today coming out of Miami, none other than Mr. Grant Cardone. What up, man?
Ryan, thank you for having me, bro. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, dude. So, man, right before this call, I saw you closing a big deal and making things happen. You're just always on the go.
I find that I'm happier when I got stuff going on, and the bigger the deal is, the happier I am, the more intrigued I am, the more excited I am.
Yeah. Well, you got a big smile on your face for everybody who's listening. So, dude, we got a bunch of things to talk about today. You've got a new fund coming out that I want to touch on. But man, I've had a few different questions for you over the years. The first time I ever became acquainted with you was at 10X in 2018. And right here in Vegas, and that inspired me to write my book, Flip Your Future. It inspired me to do a bunch of different things. And man, so I just want to thank you. And I've got still a picture with you from that, so it's cool to finally have you on the podcast, man.
Yeah, Ryan, thank you. And that 2018, what was that? Vegas? That was Mandalay Bay, right?
Yep, that was in Vegas.
How good was that event?
Dude, it was crazy, man. And I saw you running a promo for 2022. And dude, you actually used my testimonial in the promo. I was like, how do they still have that footage?
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we do, I'm proud to say that I don't know if anybody does a better event than I do. My team does phenomenal. We spend a lot of money on lights, sound, and talent. And it's a big show, man. And nobody's really done a business conference at this level. This has become the biggest business conference in the world. We charge more money for our seats than anyone. It is a profitable event from day one. Like the moment I open those doors, we're already making money. So we don't have to hard sell. If you've ever been to one of these free events in a cold room where they're going to bring Tony and Pitbull and Grant and Stallone, but you gotta put up with a lot of bullshit on the way to finally get those guys. We don't do that. So I'm really proud of how the public's responded. Every one of these events is sold out, oversold seats. And I think we are 80% sold out for 2022.
Yeah.
And it's not for November, December, January. It's for 5 months out, and I'm already sold out. almost
Yeah.
sold out.
Yeah. No, you guys do a great job, man. The events are crazy. So how are you guys doing with, all the vaccine stuff? I know you've been critical of all of these policies, and how's everything been going with that?
So when they started, mandating the poke, I don't like anybody, telling me what I got to do, and most people don't, by the way. And I started listening to the public, and I'm like, since then, Southwest stood up, Chicago police stood up, Los Angeles Fire Department stood up. Last night, American Airlines stood up, teachers, nurses. 20% of the nurses in this country supposedly refuse to get vaccinated but can't talk. So we started promoting that. My company, we have about 700 employees worldwide. And I made a clear mandate. I mandated, we will not enforce the vaccine. So we hire people that aren't poked. If you want to get poked, you can work here. We don't get involved in what you poke. You want to poke yourself? Poke yourself. It's none of my damn business.
Yeah.
You don't want to get poked. You want somebody else to poke you. I don't know what you do with your life. You do with your life what you want to do with your life. I just want people that work hard. I appreciate people's hard work, their contribution, their time. It's none of my business. Your healthcare is none of my business. So I don't tell people what to eat. I don't tell them how much to exercise. That's what ought to be mandated, by the way. Fucking, why don't you mandate eating fruits and vegetables, working out 30 minutes a day, getting some cardio in, staying away from freaking soda. But, we live in a free country, man. It should be free will.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And it's funny because entrepreneurs are the ones starting businesses, and, we're not known for wanting to follow rules and being told what to do. So it's an interesting thing, man. So I've got a few different questions for you. I know that you did Undercover Billionaire. Really cool show. And you've got just such a crazy story with, what you went through early on in your career, going through drugs and then rebuilding yourself and then accumulating this portfolio worth billions of dollars. What do you think is the biggest step from going, zero to millionaire and then millionaire to billionaire? How does it differ?
Yeah. So in the beginning, at least I was just hungry, man. I was like, and disgusted and disappointed with myself. So I remember being 25 years old, man. And I was really from like 19 to 25. I was just on a daily disgusted regiment. I was disgusted with myself. Every day I looked at myself. Couldn't keep a job. I had 7 jobs, fired from all of them. Ended up being a car salesman. Hated that. Like disgusting. When I was single, so I'd meet a girl at the club or the bar or something, and she'd be like, "What do you do?" "I'm a car salesman." And she'd have this disgusting, like this look of disgust. And so, in the beginning, man, I was just trying to like get something together that I was proud of, and I wanted to be proud of me. And the only way I could measure that was, can I get a little money? And so the first $1,000, Ryan, was the most important money I've ever made in my life. I've made billions of dollars. Like in my career, I've sold $1.2 billion worth of products and services over the internet. We've accumulated $4 billion worth of real estate. And you get, some of you see the life, the helicopters and the planes and all the crazy bullshit. But the first grant I made, when I went from $3,000 to $4,000, that was the first time I was like, oh, wow, I have control of my life. I could actually, it was a big reward for me. It was the first time I had a little victory in about 8 years. And then I started putting my life back together. I had a drug problem, like you mentioned. I had a self-esteem problem that a lot of people don't know about. Tremendous disgust with myself as an individual, disappointed with me. And I spent a lot of time working on myself to get my confidence back, to get my self-esteem back. That took a lot of me cleaning up some damage that I had caused along the way. But going from that to $1 million was huge. The move, the rest of the move, Going from 1 million to 10 million, it's different. And the game I'm playing now is you know, even more different. It doesn't really get any easier, I'll tell you that. It gets a little more complicated, a little more challenging, and it gets a little more fun. But the one consistent thing that hasn't changed the entire time is people. People have made all this possible. The first 1,000 and the first billion. It was always people involved. Exactly what I did on Undercover Billionaire. I did not put my attention on money or the business. I put my attention on meeting the right people, qualified, able, and willing people that could actually help me and were willing to help me and were qualified to help me.
Right. 100%. So when I look at your businesses and your career, you know, I see obviously a lot of different businesses, but the core ones being, you know, everything associated with 10X, whether it's the events, the courses, everything with 10X. I see Cardone Capital, you know, accumulating $4 billion in real estate. And then I see Grant Cardone, the personal brand. So tell me, like, what do you think out of those was the most important for getting you to $1 billion?
Golly, man, let me see. What's the most, I mean, the real estate, you can't fake the real estate. It's got addresses. Look at the deal I'm doing right now. It's on Los Olas Walk in Fort Lauderdale. All I have to do is say Los Olas Walk, Fort Lauderdale. If you've ever been there, you're like, oh, I know that. The location's sick. We own 12,000 units, bro. My name's on all of them. 10X Living, 10X Los Olas Walk, 10X Boca, 10X Austin, 10X Houston, Texas. So when we start branding stuff, if people didn't know who I was or didn't know 10X, it wouldn't matter. It'd just be another name on a building, right? But the buildings, I think the real estate has been the most substantial, significant thing I've done to separate myself on the internet from being a personality to a real business. And the problem with the internet is all the fraud that goes on. And, anybody can say anything, like everybody photoshops everything, filters are everywhere. The 7-figure claims and the 9-figure claims, they're everywhere. So, your business, you got True Books, right? You help. That business is real. Like, it's real. You're helping people do their taxes. You're not just doing some claim about a diet on Instagram. Your physical body, like the fact that you take care of yourself, it's real. People are going to watch this interview and be like, that dude how old is that guy? People ask this question all the time. How old are you, bro? Like, when you take care of your body, you can't inject something that does the work for you. But you can inject stuff on the internet that creates a persona that's not true. We've all seen that happen.
Right.
So when you put together, I think it's a combination. I'm healthy. I'm having fun. I'm buying real assets. I'm letting real people, everyday people, invest with me as a partner. It's not just me getting rich here like Blackstone. Goldman. I'm giving back on the internet every day. I got beautiful kids, beautiful wife and marriage. I'm taking time with you today. All that becomes a combination that makes the meal that you can serve to the public that hopefully they find value in and pay for.
Right. So you're building real things, not just, the internet, Instagram guru guy. And, that's what separated you from everyone else.
And we sell courses too. I do sell courses. But the problem with selling courses online is that, there's people might confuse me with Tony Robbins and say, oh, he's like a Tony Robbins, right? No, I'm not like Tony Robbins at all. I don't walk on fire. I'm not teaching emotional state changes. I'm not doing that. There's nothing, I'm not saying anything negative about it. It's not what I do. I teach people how to grow a business.
Right.
I don't get involved in what your father did to you, your uncle. It doesn't matter to me what your daddy did to you. He abused you. Don't tell me, because I don't care. Like, that wouldn't be the worst thing that's happened on this planet, by the way. Somebody's, somebody's getting abused in a 10X manner to anything that happened to you or me. Somebody's always got it worse. My goal is to change the future of my life, not the past of my life. And the same thing with our customers. So my job is to distinguish, to like, I'm not that guy. That's not what I do. And so that's what, when you do my taxes, you know, if True Books ever did my taxes and you save me money, that shit is real.
Yeah.
Like, that dude saved me 20 grand, bro. Like, that's real. That's what I want. I don't want this gimmick. It's not my deal. I'm
Right.
a real business guy. Like, all I care about is, can I buy that building? It's $260 million. Can I get the deal? Because no matter how I feel, that's not going to get the deal. I need the other party to give me the deal. And then I need to get the debt. Then I need to get the equity. Then I need to get it filled.
Yeah, 100%. Have you ever wanted to invest in real estate, but you didn't have the time to find deals yourself? That's where Fundrise comes in. Fundrise is a crowdfunding platform that has transacted over $5 billion in real estate and has over 150,000 active investors. While many funds, like my own, require accredited investors, Fundrise allows anyone to invest with as little as $500. If you'd like to learn more, check out fundrise.com. Once again, that's fundrise.com. Are you looking to find off-market real estate deals? One of the best tools my team uses is Batch Leads. With Batch Leads, you're able to pull data, manage lists, and send text messages. On top of that, you can get nationwide access to the MLS to get pictures and comps. My team has used Batch Leads to get some of our best deals, so I know it works. If you want to start today, you can get half off your first month by going to batchleads.io and using the promo code Ryan. Once again, that's batchleads.io, promo code Ryan for half off your first month. Now, back to the show. So, speaking of real assets and real estate, you know, there's a whole bunch of ways to invest now, and everybody's, you know, trying to start an online business or courses or, you know, crypto and Forex. You see all these things, man. Is it still your belief, even with the world changing and all this technology, that real estate is the best way to go?
Well, I think the best way to go is the business that you have. If you have it, there's nothing better than a great business, right? So, you know, my primary businesses we've done $1 billion worth of sales on the internet. We'll do 150 million this year. That business is freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Like, so let's say I net a third of that after expenses, salaries, employees. That's a lot of money, man. $45 million in cash.
Yep.
What I do with the money, though, see, the real estate, to me, the best thing about real estate is I can take the big money or a little bit of money and I can push it into an asset that grows by itself. It does not need me to make it grow. And so all I got to do is tell people, hey, that's our building, take care of the tenants, buy a great location. There's no investment class that offers the leverage, the tax write-offs, the cash flow, and the appreciation, in my mind, that real estate does.
Yeah.
Some guy told me yesterday, he's like, you know, your real estate compared to Amazon did 16,000%. I said, 16, bro, I got deals that I did 7 years ago. I did a deal. I bought it for $58 million. I put 15 million down. I refinanced it after 6 years, took out my 15 million plus 50 million. Okay. Both of those were non-taxable events. And I still own the 1,100 units and they pay me $4 million in cash a year. That's 16,000% times an infinite number.
Right.
And I will own it. My kids could own that asset class into perpetuity. Yep. So I love real estate because it's real, right? And also the last thing I'll say about this is compared to the stock market or the cryptos or the NFTs or, you know, they can go up and down, man. And in the beginning, and they don't provide cash flow and you can't leverage them like you can real estate. So the three benefits, and you don't get the tax write-offs. If you go sell your Bitcoin right now, you bought in at $50 and you sell today, you will be paying taxes on $65,000 per Bitcoin. So same thing with your NFT. If you bought it for whatever, 1,000, you sell it for $1 million, you're paying taxes. You're going to pay the highest taxes, tax rate. I'm buying a $260 million building right now. I'm going to get $100 million of depreciation for the first 10 days of December that I own it. And so that real estate class, just that class of asset, because I know you're in the flipping and the wholesaling game. I'll bet you regret most of the stuff you've sold if you're buying good stuff in good locations.
Oh yeah, I mean, the stuff I sold 5 years ago doubled, tripled, you know what I'm saying? And I'm with you. That was the reason we started buying multifamily as well. We just closed on our first big apartment, 334 unit in Georgia. And same deal. It's like, yeah, I have my businesses that make me money. We got True Books, we got courses, we got everything that you talked about. And it was like, man, how do I offset this income and put it somewhere? Well, you just buy big buildings and, you don't have to pay taxes if you buy enough of them.
And you wait.
Yeah.
And this apartment thing, and I've been saying this for 7 or 8 years now, people are starting to pay attention to me. The apartment game is the housing game of the 1950s on steroids. This is the new game, folks. Like, we are in the beginning stages. You are not late to this game. This game, if you live in a city anywhere in America, and there you got any kind of positive migration, meaning more people coming in than leaving, you should be looking at the apartment stock rather than buying one house or even flipping a house. I know you can make a lot of money flipping a house.
Right.
You can also lose money flipping a house.
Mm-hmm.
And you could be terrified in the interim trying to figure out whether you're going to make money or lose money. Right.
Right.
And also with supplies, I mean, it's hard to flip homes right now because you can't get the stuff you need to the kitchens and the wood plank, and you can't get the stuff you need to flip that house and, to rehab it. But if you guys would buy apartments, particularly like anything above 32 units, if you can find a 32 unit deal where the rents are $400 lower than they should be, that's $2 million worth of profit right there. If you can just move the rents from $800 to $1,200 on 32 units, you'll make $2 million every time you do it.
Yeah, 100%. So with the supply chain issues you're talking about here, how long do you foresee all of this stuff going on with, car prices used cars selling for more than new cars, people paying all this money for the watches, and, real estate just going crazy, like everything's going nuts with all the money printing and supply issues. Like, how long do you see this going on?
So 2 issues for me is the supply chain issue is a temporary issue, and it is inflative. It would create what appears to be inflation. Container prices are up like 5x. Even maybe the stuff you're getting didn't go up any, but the container price did. So the shipping causes your price to go up. So I think that is temporary. I think that goes away. I think you're going to see a spike, but the reality is we do not in this country. This is a little complicated, but I'm sure your audience will get it. The money supply in this country is like a hockey stick. So the money supply looks like that. We have 40% more money in the last. This is a 2-year cycle, by the way. So like this is before COVID. Oh, this is Trump. Last year, Trump. This money supply, we've generated 40% of the money supply. The thing that people that would appear to create more cash and then more inflation. But the truth is, there's another thing called money velocity, and money velocity went the other way. Without money velocity is how fast you and I move $100 or $1,000. Money's actually not moving. Money was printed, and people are saving it, and they have an equity in their homes, and they're actually borrowing more money and not using their cash. So without money velocity, you can't actually have inflation. So I think we're seeing a temporary spike. Investors are buying homes. You guys are seeing all this in housing. This is not the end user paying too much for the house. This is an investor buying the house in Nevada. There's 13 people showed up to buy the house. They thought they were going to get 230. An investor comes in at the last minute and says, I'll pay cash $250,000. I'll give you a check right now. The reason he can pay $250 is he's paying cash, number one. Number two, he's going to rent it out for $1,500 a month. He's going to make 6% on his money, and he's freaking tickled to death. That stock is going to go away. You're not going to be able to buy that house. That house will not be sold for the next 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 years, maybe 30 years. So the housing stock is going to be consumed. Number one. Number two, people are going to move to apartments as a style of living because they want community. They don't want to live by themselves and they don't want to take care of their house. And it gives them mobility to move around. So once the supply chain stuff moves off, cars will go back to being what they are. We still got a lot of money printed. And
the money's got to go somewhere.
Money's got to go someplace, and it will, unless it gets all like destroyed. I think the bigger concern is that we're just going to the destruction of cash and replace it with something new.
What do you think it might be?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that. I just know that it's all made up anyway. This is all bullshit. This is a piece of garbage. There's a piece of garbage right here. Anybody thinks this is cash is king, you haven't done your homework. Cash is garbage. You cannot create wealth saving this.
Yeah. Once you understand what the Federal Reserve actually does, you're like, man, this is crazy. But yeah, I agree with you.
There's $10 trillion in equity in homes. There's another 10 trillion. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say one thing that has been my kind of hypothesis this whole time as a house flipper and, wholesaler is that you're seeing all these people with all this equity and they want to tap into it. But, if they sell, what are they going to buy? They can't qualify for anything. They can't afford, what their house is. Their payment would be higher. And the alternative is, why don't I just refi? I'll get the money anyway. There's no taxes. I don't have to move. And so, like you said, those people don't want to sell. The investors who buy all these houses don't want to sell. They're sitting on it. And so you're like, where's the supply ever going to come from? It's too expensive to build new.
That's right. You're 100% right. You did all the math. I mean, you ought to be on CNBC. They're not going to build. They're not going to build. I was with what was the first big builder in this country? The Horton and the Norton, the Horton.
E.R. Horton.
Anyway, why are they going to build? They're not going to build. They're going to build rather than putting $50 million into a neighborhood. They're going to be like, I'm going to build a 600 unit building. That is the new housing stock in America. It is not the single family home. Nobody is ever going to build a $200,000 home again.
No, it's impossible. It's not profitable.
Exactly. They're like, why would I risk this for one house?
Right.
Dependent upon an individual that might work for American Airlines to pay for it. And they might not even be there tomorrow. Like, it's just not real. And people have to put 20% down to buy that house today. They got to have a good job. They got to have a secure job. They got to have a great credit score. So that game is over. So where does the game go? The game moves. I got to live somewhere. The game moves to big apartment complexes. And that's where the wealth will be created in the housing sector.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 100% with you. I think, you did a video recently. I reacted to it on my YouTube channel about, America becoming a renter society. And I agree. I mean, I think people are going to lease cars. I think, people are, companies like Uber are going to make it so that you don't even need to lease a car. They'll just pick you up, these robo taxis and, like you're not going to need to own anything.
That's deflationary. Music is deflationary. Okay. Online movies, deflationary, not inflationary. Yeah. Because I'm not spending money to go anyplace now.
Everything's getting cheaper, but they're printing more money.
Metaverse will definitely be a deflationary moment.
Right.
I can stay home and I can go to Disneyland at my house on my headset rather than go to Disneyland and spend $400.
Yeah. I'm with you. Everything is getting way cheaper and your experience is getting better too.
That's right.
So it's a crazy
Hey man,
time.
You're going to be able to go to the World Series, sit right where I did in 2017. My wife and I, LA Dodgers, Astros, 7th game. I sat right behind the umpire. I paid $117,000 for those seats. In the future, every person will have that seat. In fact, you'll probably be on the field with the catcher, or maybe you'll be the umpire.
Yeah.
It's going to be freaking crazy, dude. You'll be second.
It'll be cheap. It'll be cheap.
It'll be nothing. It'll cost nothing.
Yeah.
And so those things are deflationary, right? And they're not inflationary. So I bet if me and you do an interview 1 year from now, I'll bet you interest rates are less than they are today. Even though the Fed is saying they're going to go up, me and you have a little, let's meet November 2nd next year and see where they're at.
All right, I'm gonna put it in the calendar. Annie, you hear that? So Annie heard it. So I'm with you, dude. I've totally on board. Everything's going deflationary, and the only way the Fed can combat it and keep the status quo is to just print more money and lower rates. They don't have a choice.
Printing more money. So the Treasury, the 10-year Treasury today is 1.552. I'll bet you and your audience, I'll give everybody that comments $100 if the interest rate is higher on November 2nd, 2022.
All right, you guys heard it first. So let's talk about what you're going to be doing to help the people, man. So I've been following Cardone Capital for a while as a real estate guy and watching what you're doing. And I mean, you guys have accumulated billions of dollars in real estate. And I know at one point you had a non-accredited fund that you shut down. And now the reports are you are starting a new one and you're about to buy almost $1 billion worth of real estate with that fund. So tell me about that.
So we did have a non-accredited fund and we shut it down because of COVID. When COVID happened, we raised $80 million from non-accredited and we raised $620 million from accredited. No broker fees, no middleman, no banks involved. 100% of the money went to the fund, went to buy the investment. 100% of the investors' money went into the deal. When COVID happened, March of 2020, I was shooting Undercover Billionaire. We got shut down. Discovery Channel shut the show down. I flew back to Miami, walked in my office. I said, shut down the non-accredited fund, not the accredited fund. We continue to raise money from the accredited, but I didn't want Bobby that was giving me $5,000 or $10,000 to be at risk because I thought his job was at risk. I shouldn't have shut it down, by the way, in retrospect. There was nothing wrong with it. The country wouldn't go into complete shutdown. In fact, we went and bought more real estate during COVID than before COVID. So,
and that's looking really smart right now.
like my portfolio is up like almost $400 million in the last 12 months.
Crazy.
It's insane. So we started, I've been trying to get this approved since after the shutdown. We opened up and we applied with the SEC a $75 million fund to buy trophy assets in the Fort Lauderdale, Miami marketplace. We just bought this.
By the way, guys, if you're not watching on YouTube, you can see Grant showing everything right now.
Yeah, this is a $260 million purchase. That's $250 million, 456 units, mid-rise, AAA location, AAA amenities, 97% occupied, cash flow positive from day one. Institutions, I fought 5 institutions off to buy that deal. I was awarded the deal. We closed December 10th, and we just got approval from the SEC Friday from the non-accredited investor to invest as little as $1,000. This has never been done before in the history of real estate, where the non-accredited at $1,000 entry level families who need the investment the most, by the way, can invest in a trophy real estate. That is as quality real estate as you could possibly buy in America, in the hottest market in America. And the non-accredited gets all the same benefits that the rich do.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's for sure never been done in the history of real estate. And I'll tell you too, as a small guy, in real estate, we started a 506c, and it's not easy to start a fund. It's not easy to go find great deals and do everything that you're doing, even on a much bigger level. But when we looked into the non-accredited fund, our attorney's like, man, there's just so much red tape, and man, like it'd be great if you could do it, but just know you're under so much scrutiny and so much regulation that it makes it so hard. Grant's giving me a couple fingers, if you guys know what he means.
They're like it costs us $300,000 to get that handled, plus the time, 9 months to start a Reg D fund. Reg D is for accredited, as you know. It takes me 19 minutes and costs me maybe $9,000.
Yeah.
To go with the non-accredited. And by the way, I started as a non-accredited investor. I have family members that could not invest with me. I have 700 employees. of which 650 could not invest with me. I have a niece that has known me for 50 years that can't invest with me. Now, how can somebody that's known me for 50 years, I call her up, hey, Allison, you need to get in this deal. And she can't get in. My sister that's known me for 63 years can't invest with me because she doesn't make 200 grand a year. So I bit the bullet, paid the price. The lawyers told me not to do it. They're like, this is nothing but a pain in the ass, just like they told you. Don't do this. This is people are going to give you trouble. The little guy complains. I'm like, fuck you guys. I'm going to do this. Okay. This is why there's so much wealth disparity in this country today. The everyday family, the little guy, okay, particularly marginalized communities, the Black, brown communities, and the lower middle class, white in this country, never get a shot at what wealthy people invest their money in. This deal that I'm buying now, wealthy families don't even get. The wealthy institutions get them. So for your audience, y'all need to understand there's the middle class, there's the rich, there's the wealthy, and then there's the super wealthy. And then above the super wealthy, above Zuckerberg, Bezos, Warren Buffett, and Elon, there's companies that could literally consume those 5 names with a pencil and a pen. These are Blackstone, Vanguard, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, okay? 2 companies I just mentioned, Blackstone and Vanguard, are worth $20 trillion each by the end of this decade. That is 99% of all, that is control of 99% of all the assets on planet Earth, without exaggeration. So I'm really trying to I'm buying an asset. I know I'm going to sell this asset to one of those 2 groups. And this, we pay $260. I will sell this for $500 million, $500 million. And our investors will make 2 times, maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times their money. And without the risk, there is some risk. Obviously, there's always a risk, but the chances of losing money on that asset in that location are next to none.
Right. You're cash flowing from day one.
I close December, January, I get a check.
Yeah. So what's the future for Cardone Capital look like then? Is it going to be geared towards the non-accredited and, put the power back to the people? What's the goal?
So there's a limitation on how much money these funds can have. There's no limitation on the non-accredited. On the accredited, but there is a limitation on the accredited. So I need both to reach my goals. My goal, we're at almost $4 billion worth of real estate. My goal is to 10x that, get to 40 billion, and be on the top 10 list apartment owners in the country. And then I'm going to either go sell it to a Blackstone or a Goldman as a portfolio, or I'll turn it into a bond, and we'll get freaking all up. Either one of these exits, by the way, everybody gets richer, way better off than even a 2 or 3x return and the cash flow. And maybe if I could pull this off, dude, if I could get 10 million people to invest average of $25,000 with me, I could buy $1 trillion worth of real estate. And then I'm going to run for president of the United States.
What year is that going to be?
2032.
2032. So by then you'll have $1 trillion in real estate.
And I'm going to use my investor base. I'm going to use my investor base to be my voter base.
And your donors.
And my donors.
You already got everything in one spot.
And then whether you guys like my political views or not, you're going to be like, fuck it, I'm going to vote for him. Shit, he pays me every month.
He made me a lot of money. I love it, man. Well, dude, I know you got a lot going on, so I don't want to keep holding you up. Anything else you want to leave the viewers?
No, hey, Ron, I just really appreciate what you're doing. I love your hustle, man, and the fact that you're working a real business, working online, doing all the stuff you're doing is a real inspiration to people. And if you guys ever wonder how Ryan does it all, it's because he's connected to his purpose. So once you connect to your purpose and your mission, man, the energy will be immense. You don't have to go work on your own to do this, by the way. For you guys that want to go out on your own, I would tell you guys, find somebody like Ryan and go play with it. Man, you don't want to do stuff alone. You want to do it with other people. And this is where I started this interview today. Okay. Like wherever you want to go in life, you want to become a billionaire, you need people. You want to become a millionaire, you need people. Okay. You want to do great things on this planet, you need people. You want to change the world, you need people. And there's no way to do anything great on your own. Nobody's ever done that. So get around great people, network with great people, invest in great people, and you can do great things, but you're not going to do much by yourself.
I love that, bro. Well, guys, give a big shout out to Grant. Show him some love in the comments. Go check out Cardone Capital's brand new fund that literally anyone can invest in. It's a really big deal. Like you said, nobody has ever, allowed this to happen on such a big scale. So shout out to you, Grant, for taking the risk and making it happen. And guys, if you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave some comments. We'll catch you on the next one.
Peace. Ryan, that's awesome, bro.
Thanks for watching The Ryan Pineda Show. If you want to work with me, head over to ryanpineda.com. You can find my courses, coaching programs, and upcoming events. We also have free resources you can download, so head over to ryanpineda.com.